Hello my fellow retro maniacs and welcome to Let's Read Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island Player's Guide. Alright, I never owned any Player's Guide. Oh wait a second, the only Player's Guide I owned was Pokemon Red and Blue. But nothing else. I don't think they were much released in Finland. You know, usually players would be like children, so you would have to translate the guide to Finnish, and there was just no market for that. Given how big work you need, and you have to be quite an expert even to translate a game guide, so it just cannot be done by anyone who knows English. So yeah, I didn't see. Maybe in like a bigger like bookstores they were available. Maybe English versions of strategy guides, but I never saw any. So it's nice to just glance through these guides these days. There were so many back in the days. There's like Nintendo had the official ones, then you had like Brady stuff, and there's some other publishers as well who made these. Nowadays you can easily get them from Internet Archive. So yeah, let's check this guide. This was by Nintendo, it's official one. So usually the unofficial ones usually don't have that cool graphics unless they are like handmade, because maybe they didn't have license for the art, but the official ones usually even had new art made for the guide itself. So here we have some Shy Guys. Nice selection of Yoshis. So it's just so nice to read these old guidebooks, especially because of the art style. It's so charming, so much effort on the colorful art. It's hand-drawn art here. Sometimes they were lazy, they would just do like photos of the game, or just use the game graphics and with like crude cut and paste technique. But if they had like proper backing by the company, like here we have official Nintendo one, so then they usually provided the art as well. So here we go, got a big staff also doing this guide, just not by one person. So we got like Workhouse Japan has done maps and strategies. We have actually say who made the art. I don't know, maybe Arakawa. So yeah, more Miyamoto magic. Oh, it's interesting that Shigeru Miyamoto was already like a famous person by Yoshi's Island. Video game players are cheering the arrival of the latest masterpiece from the world-famous design team of Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka. I don't know if Tezuka is such a world-famous as Miyamoto. The terrific twosome who brought you all the Super Mario Bros. And Zelda games began by assembling a dream team of more than 30 ace artists, musicians and programmers at Nintendo Company Ltd in Japan. After 4 years of of intensive effort, they've delivered Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. After playing it once, you'll never look at video games in quite the same way again. What do you mean musicians? There was only one, Koji Kondo. The numbers alone are mind-boggling. More than 130 enemies patrol the game's 60+ stages. There are dozens of secret areas and bonus challenges. Miyamoto and Tezuka have pushed the Super FX2 graphics chip to the limit, developing a new programming technique called morphomation. They've used it to produce enemies that grow, shrink, rotate, and change shape. Some are even bigger than an entire screen. Yoshi's Island also features ultra-realistic control. You can actually feel Yoshi slogging down muddy slopes and skiing over ice-covered ponds. Okay, if you say so. I wouldn't call it ultra-realistic. Just a 2D platformer. No haptic feedback either, so I don't know. So just but you know, you have to remember this is like it's trying to advertise the game here. People read this on the magazine raft. They probably only read this one. Still, all these technical innovations never overwhelm the pure joy of playing the game. A rich palette and sublime shading give the backgrounds a magical effect. Whether flying over icy mountains or submarine through tropical lakes, you've never seen any place like Yoshi's Island. The music always strikes just the right note, bright and bouncy in the above-ground scenes and moody when Yoshi plunges into caverns. Yeah, I agree. The music is very good, and it's not just Koji Kondo doing his usual, like having one team and then just make different versions of it, variations. But each track is different, which is kind of atypical for Kondo. Thanks to the intuitive interface and message blocks, starting is easy, but even long-time players are likely to be stumped by the task of finishing this complex and challenging game. Throw in the Super Mario Bros. Tradition of secret areas and bonus challenges, and you're going to want help big time. Hear it straight from the pros at Nintendo. Yeah. Super Mario Yoshi's Island, I probably have said it many times, it's my favorite platformer game. I think it's even better than Super Mario World or Super Mario Bros. 3. I just love this game. The controls are so good. I like Yoshi's like fluttering and egg throwing and eating abilities, and the stages are so fun, and you know, you just to get the 100 perfect score is a challenge itself. So yeah, perfect game, I would call Yoshi's Island. I only hear that people complain that they are fed up with the baby Mario crying. Well, that only happens if you suck. If you don't get hit, you don't have to hear baby Mario crying at all. So I guess those who complain were so bad players that they got hit all the time. Anyway, so we have 125 pages here at least. I'm not gonna read all. It would take me for like 10 hours to read this from word to word, so I'm just gonna read some pages more thorough, and some I will just glance through. So we got World 1. It looks like a perfect spring day as Yoshi and baby Mario begin their journey. The sun shines brightly down on butterflies floating through a meadow, Things are not what they seem, though. Sinister forces want to grab Mario. In World 1, you'll learn all the basics of babysitting on Yoshi's Island, including flying, egg throwing, and ground bounding. You'll plumb the dark depths of Jump Cavern and climb mountains on the Fast and Furious donut lifts. Really like how almost like poetical these descriptions are. Was World 2. Enemies in the cool pine woods of World 2 would love to throw Yoshi for a loop. The baseball boys heave the horsehide high and hard, while lurking Lucky Twos toss bombs on his trail. A chill wind blows no good, so chow down on the wind-riding gusties and hop down the nearest cave. When the going gets tough, though, the baby gets going. At opportune moments, Mario will morph into Super Mario and perform deeds of daring do with Yoshi on his back. What? Deeds of daring do? What the hell is that? It is very like fancy use of words. Daring do. Oh, it's like action displaying heroic courage. I didn't expect to learn new words from Yoshi's Island guidebook. World 3. Indiana Jones, step aside. The real jungle explorer is here. Join Yoshi and Mario for a trek through tropical treetops and lagoons. Watch out, though. Some shrewd chimps would love to throw a monkey wrench in the proceedings. I think that's like a play of words as well. Monkey wrench. Meanwhile, the natives are restless, especially when Yoshi and Mario invade the ruins of a lost civilization. Some seriously scary water life lie in wait too. When things get too damped, Yoshi morphs into a submarine. Go to this page again. Red sky at morning. Yoshis take warning. Okay. Rhyming now. Things got a lot hotter for the plucky babysitter as he explores the lurid landscape of World 4. When Yoshi meets a friendly face, it belongs to Marching Mild, who would love to stomp him into the ground. Koopa and Paracoopas patrol the terrain, but they've just a warm-up for the final showtopper. To get out of this world, Yoshi will have to defeat Hookbill, the biggest and baddest Koopa of them all. It's mighty cold in the frosty peaks of Yoshi's Island. A smart diner knows there's only one thing to do. Hop in the closest chalet. Strap on a pair of skis. What the hell is chalet? Wooden house overhanging eaves, typically found in the Swiss Alps. Oh, it's like a alpine cabin. Another word learned today. Keep climbing, and when you run out of a solid ground, hop on a winged pal to take you even higher. Uh-oh. Not all birds are of a friendly feather, though. Before exiting World 5, Yoshi will go nose to peak in a ground-pounding battle with Raphael the Raven, who would love to squawk nevermore. Wait a second, is that like a reference to the famous Raven Edgar Allan Poe, yeah. It's very famous in, United States, but not in Finland. I don't think Edgar Allan Poe was ever mentioned in school or anything like that, It's not part of our literature history. World 6. The bones of foolhardy souls litter the final approach to King Bowser's castle, but Yoshi and Mario aren't about to give up the ghost. Bowser and that mean Magikoopa, Kamek, deploy all demons in an effort to stop our heroes. If the skeleton goonies don't put a chill down your spine, the lava lakes will make things frightfully hot for you. You have the spirit to scare off these final fiends and reunite Mario with his twin brother. Okay. Yeah, I like the poetic style of clever use of words in this guidebook. They're just not trying to do the most half-assed work. Like, yeah, here's the guide, do this, do that, gotcha. No, they're trying to like sell the fun and the magic of the game and Nintendo with this cool narration. An exotic epic. Rosy-fingered down is breaking in the east as a stork wings its way over the open sea. Slung from his beak is a bundle carrying two twins, which the stork was delivering to their parents. Suddenly, a UFE, Unified Flying Enemy, unidentified flying enemy, races from between the parting clouds and snatches. I cannot read. Okay. At Stork's precious bundle before vanishing in the pre-dawn gloom. The sneak attack, shotless, lose one baby. Just again, this just weird words. I have to check. Just less. Push, elbow, bump against someone. Just less. Just. Oh, how do you? No, that's just less, but just less. Oh, it's like a. Yeah, it's like a verb form. Just let's lose one baby who plunges helplessly earthward. Incredibly, the baby lands not at sea but on Yoshi's island. Well, that was lucky. That would have been a short game had baby Mario died. A paradise populated with Yoshis of all colors. The baby is unhurt. Beside him lands a scroll. Yoshis are naturally laid back lot, passing the days smelling the flowers and listening to mellow music. But this new arrival has them in a tizzy. Tizzy? What do you mean? Not dizzy, but tizzy. State of nervous excitement or agitation. He got into a tizzy and was talking absolute toss. Okay. As they jump up and down and holler at each other, the tiny baby points at the scroll. At last, the Yoshis calm down enough to take a look at the mysterious piece of paper. It's a map, which the stork was using to find its way to the baby's parents. The diligent diners decide to complete the stork's task and reunite baby Mario with his brother. but that doesn't really make any sense because the map was guiding them to the Toad Mushroom Village. While in the game you are going to the Bowser's castle, so do you know? You shouldn't follow the map, but rescue Luigi, and then the map doesn't help at all. The little diners decide to reunite baby Mario with his brother. After much discussion, they decide to take turns carrying the tot. Though small in area, Yoshi's Island has a tremendous variety of landscapes. I like this cartoon styled. Cartoon styled images. Yeah, this wasn't the early version where there's a baby wizard and he's got a wand that drops on Yoshi's head. That was in the prototype version. Snowy mountains tower over sweltering jungles. Dark caves plunge deep beneath lush forests. Primitive natives stand guard over the ruins of ancient civilizations. What do you mean? What ancient civilization? Like Shy Guy civilization? I don't know. Hence, the Yoshis decided to use a relay system, figuring that the baby would be best protected by a Yoshi most familiar with the area he or she was crossing. Or some are female Yoshis. I guess you can't really tell. They look identical. Like Pony Express riders, each will carry Mario for a while before handing him off to another Yoshi. Easier said than done. It's never explained like how the Yoshis end up in the new area. Are they like Yoshis in the just living in World 5 and World 6? Because they still have to trek out. If they start from the ground level, they still have to trek to the mountains. So it doesn't really matter if they're doing it them one by one or in a group or I don't know. Don't try to question a children's video game. Easier said than done. Little do the Yoshis suspect that trouble is brewing, for the baby's twin was kidnapped by Kamek, an evil Magic Koopa with the gift of seeing the future. Really? I don't know. The previous night he divined that the twins would bring ruin to the Koopa family. Returning to his castle in the Koopa Kingdom, he is horrified to discover that he only grabbed one baby. He orders his toadies to bring back the other one. Meanwhile, the hills smile down as Green Yoshi begins his trek across through the blooming meadows of World 1. Puffy clouds float in the distance and butterflies drift lazily in the sunlight. All is not bliss though. The arrival of the baby has roused the many strange life forms that populate Yoshi's Island into action. They too want to stop Yoshi and get that baby. So although these enemies are supposed to live in Yoshi's Island all the time, so are they like enemies of Yoshi even without Mario? Or do they live in harmony? I can't it's not explained that well here whether like Kamek just brought those enemies into place. I don't know. A good thing Kamek. So what was Kamek trying to do with Mario and Luigi? Kill them? So why is Luigi then just captured there in the end? I'm not killed. Yeah, that's always the James Bond villain story. Just kill him already. No need to keep him in captive. I think I can, should be Yoshi's motto. The little dino doesn't have the stunning skills or amazing arsenal of some superheroes, but he more than makes up for his shortcomings with plenty of courage and cleverness. Yoshi's abilities may underwhelm you at first, but you'll discover as you play the game what a resourceful little guy he is. To make it through Yoshi's Island and defeat Bowser, you'll have to stay sharp and know just what to do in every situation you'll encounter. Patooey. One of the simplest ways for Yoshi to clear a path is to slurp up an enemy by pressing the Y button, then immediately spit it out by pressing Y again. The enemy will roll over nearby foes. Special watermelons give Yoshi the ability to blow seeds, fire and ice. Bubble daisies and Barney bubbles blow bubbles which Yoshi can then exhale. They're not terrifically effective but are rather pretty. Lava bubbles and other hot-blooded enemies give Yoshi the temporary ability to breathe fire. Tongue-tied. The Y button has more uses than aluminium foil on a camping trip. Use it to activate, or weird juxtaposition. Use it to activate Yoshi's amazing appendage, which goes much farther than you'd imagine. You can use it to take a long-range bite out of enemies. Indigestible adversaries such as tap-taps give ground when Yoshi sticks his tongue out at them. Press up and Y simultaneously and Yoshi will stick his tongue straight up. This trick is especially helpful when Baby Mario has been knocked off Yoshi's back and is floating overhead. What the fuck? Jump like many a young bird. Is that like idiom? Like many a young bird. Yoshi would like to try out his wings. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any. Press the B button and you'll find that he's a fairly good leaper though. Practice the many subtleties of Yoshi's jumps. Short, fast skips can carry him over the treacherous terrain of Yoshi's Island, including mud flats, palm trees, teeter-totter slugs, and icy lakes. He can even take off from enemies if he catches them in midair. Careful timing is needed when Yoshi gets on and off airborne platforms. Longer leaps help Yoshi cross wide chasms. He can't afford to come up short because it's almost always a long ways down. And hover. A rudimentary hovering ability serves Yoshi well. Simply press and hold B when Yoshi is aloft. Staying aloft for a few extra seconds can spell survival, especially if enemies are raising a ruckus below. Hovering also helps Yoshi slow his descent and lengthen his glides. By combining jumping and hovering, Yoshi can travel much farther than when he only jumps. Hovering also gives Yoshi precious seconds for surviving what's below. This is especially important ability when he's high in the air above Yoshi's Island. It's a little bit weird white space here. The fall guy. Press down while Yoshi is in the air and he'll slam the ground like a 10-ton dino. Pounding that ground pulverizes rock posts, frequently revealing power-ups hidden within. Careful though, pounding a rock platform where there's no solid ground below is a one-way ticket to nowhere. Yeah, that's the World 2 level 5, where you can easily kill yourself. Accidentally forgetting that you shouldn't ground pound that dust, or that like not rock, but I don't know. I call it like hardened sand. Yeah. You can often bound an enemy into oblivion, while merely jumping them often has little effect. Bounding also shakes the nearby landscape like a 6.0 earthquake. Thank God we don't have earthquakes in Finland. I don't even know what is that supposed to mean. 6.0, it seems quite bad for an earthquake. At least I've heard, like, if there's a 6.010 earthquake on like Syria or Pakistan, it's usually quite deadly. Among other things, it will knock the dangerous petals off an egg goodile. Morph Mania. Thanks to the cutting-edge technique of morphimation, Mr. Miyamoto's design team has endowed Yoshi with some eye-popping transformations. Throughout every world, Yoshi will encounter morph bubbles. Touch these, then watch out. The more things morph, though, the more they stay the same. Just as regular Yoshi isn't the island's fastest runner or highest jumper, so his morph skills leave something to be desired. As a mole tank, he can only dig through soft rock, and as a helicopter, he's not quite sure how to go up and down. Yoshi, the vehicle, can sprout still-like wheels for getting over obstacles. Fortunately, Submarine Yoshi has an endless supply of torpedoes for vanquishing underwater worming. Perhaps his most astonishing transformation, though, is into a crayon-drawn train, crashing up a wall with train bandits in hot pursuit. Controlling morphed Yoshi is very different from controlling regular Yoshi. It will take practice to master his unusual skills. It's interesting that, like, you probably know that originally it was because of the magic by the wizard baby that Yoshi could transform. You know, in the final game, it's not really explained how this happens, because there's no explanation for these morphing abilities, but in the original version it was just the wizard baby whose magic made this possible. Well, you don't think it's just a video game magic anyway. The Eager Egger, not Easter egg, Eager Egger, spring training. For the play-by-play description of Yoshi's egg toss technique, let's turn the spike to moan wheel. What? Retired coach of the Yoshi's Island Olympic egg tossing team. I don't know who's this about. Maybe it's like American football coach of some. There's like Mountville football, I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to be, what kind of joke is supposed to be. Yeah, no wonder this guide was never released in Finland. You have to like make these jokes, try to translate these jokes somehow like untranslatable.
Yoshi is the best and real pro. He always stays centered, focused in the zone. Other young stars pass the off-season down at the Copacabana, slurping up the cream sodas, but not Yoshi. He knows a good training and regimen begins with a good diet. He wants to carry the maximum load of 6 eggs as much as possible. That's why he's always making new eggs by munching on enemies like Shy Guys and Crazy Daisies. You heard of Popeye and his peanuts? Well, Yoshi gets his leafy greens by nibbling on eggplants, and he never misses a chance to rub you up against an egg block and get more goodies, including special yellow and red eggs.
The wind-up.
Like a canny big league pitcher with a fastball and change. Yoshi has 2 ways of throwing a dino egg. He always carefully chooses which mode he'll use, because he can't change once he's begun to in a stage. A patient mode, press and release the A button. A moving crosshair will appear in the direction in which Yoshi is facing. Lock on target by pressing the right or left button, then press the A button again to fire.
And the pitch.
As you move farther into Yoshi's Island, you'll find enemies clogging your path. Power-ups will appear only briefly before vanishing. When the going gets tough, though, the tough switch to the hasty controller mode. It's just like the patient mode, except instead of pressing A twice to fire, you only press once. Release the button and Yoshi will throw. You can still use your left or right button to lock on target, no matter which mode you choose. Aim correctly on the first try in order to conserve your eggs, and remember, practice makes perfect.
Morphing only lasts for a brief period, so be on the lookout for new morph bubbles to replenish your power. In some cases, unmorphed Yoshi will warp back to his starting point where he can begin again. At other times, though morphed, Yoshi gets only one chance. Touching a Yoshi block morphs Yoshi back to his ordinary shape and retrieves Mario. Mario can morph too. By touching a bouncing superstar, he'll morph into Super Mario. Superstars don't give you points or boost your countdown timer, but they sure do rock out. Super Mario can run like the wind and parachute with his diaper, all the while hauling Yoshi behind a giant egg. Wait a second, when he uses his diaper, does he still have diaper on? I think he's has 2 diapers, because I don't remember his being naked, butt cheeks showing. So he's have a second diaper for parachute. Super Mario is virtually indestructible. He can blow through deadly enemies and run across razor-sharp spikes. Just like Yoshi, though, his indomitable powers last only a short while until he touches another superstar. Watch out! He can warp back into Baby Mario at the most inopportune times. Baby got back. Rubber baby, bubble bumpers. The prime directive of Yoshi's Island: don't lose that baby. Kick the baby! Don't kick the baby! In each stage, Yoshi needs to jump through the goal ring and hand Mario over to the next Yoshi. Easier said than done. Yoshi's Island is filled with deadly enemies and torturous traps. What's more, Kamek's toadies are always hovering just above. If Baby Mario gets knocked off Yoshi's back, he'll float up in a bubble and starts bawling. The timer in the upper corner of the screen will begin counting down. If it reaches 0, Kamek's toadies will swoop down and whisk Baby Mario away. Sometimes single toadies will fly down and try to grab Mario, even if the timer is still ticking. Bandits are... Yeah, I've always wondered if that's random, or is it on certain levels only when it happens. That single toady. Bandits are even more aggressive. They'll grab Mario off Yoshi's back and head for the hills. Whenever Mario goes floating, Yoshi should drop everything he's doing and get that baby. If Mario is too high to reach by jumping, try sticking Yoshi's tongue out. Hitting Mario with an egg will also bring him closer. Watch out for enemies though. If Yoshi touches one while pursuing Mario, he'll be immobilized for a few precious seconds. I wonder if there's like a ROM hack where you can disable Mario completely. I think it would be interesting to play the game with Yoshi only. Although some parts are impossible, where you have to go through the Super Mario Star phase. God, I don't think I need to read through these. Mini battles. It's interesting how many like mini games they scrapped for the final game. There's like I think 3 or 4 different mini games that didn't end up in the final game. For whatever reason, I don't know. Yeah, each of these like take place in one screen only, while the scrapped mini games were like bigger levels. There's like the scrapped like train mini game where you like travel a huge portion of land. So I guess they just wanted to make it like similar and not have it would be like out of place if one of the mini games would take outside of the like outdoors when you usually start the mini game going inside the cabin. So it's supposed to take place inside of the cabin. So that's why those mini games were probably scrapped. Don't hesitate to show your runty rival side when pursuing your goal. What the hell is runty? They're using so weird words on this. Runty. Underdeveloped. Puny. Undersized dwarfish. Okay. I think my favorite one was maybe Pop Balloons, although it was completely random who would get it. Yeah, throwing balloons, this was the most annoying one. But usually you would learn to like to wait until it's just about to pop, and then you would just throw it. But then the CPU would just like in half a second get his like commands right, and then it would come to you and it would pop immediately. That happened quite often. Slot machine. Yeah, at some point Nintendo got very like cautious with showing any like casino imagery in their games, like in Pokemon games. Pokemon like casino was removed. Or censored, because you know you can't like show like roulettes or slot machines in kids games, which is kind of silly. You know, just seeing a slot machines or roulette doesn't make a kid like addicted to like those games. It only makes them addicted to Nintendo games. What's better? Well, what's worse, I think. You don't win money from Nintendo games, but you can win from slot machines, so I guess it's... Yeah, but I don't know if they like the policy is still there, that like any references to like gambling is forbidden in Nintendo games or kids games. I don't know. It's like maybe it's like European Union thing nowadays. Bosses. I was always like this first boss, Bird the Bashful. The first boss Yoshi encounters is more concerned about his modesty than beating the dinosaur who's entered his fort. Belt-bouncing Bird with enough eggs and he'll drop his belt, then turn beet red with embarrassment before dashing off. Kamek will have to find some tougher opponents if he wants to beat Yoshi. Salvo the Slime. Yoshi's last stop in World 1 is a castle, but the greeting he gets there isn't exactly chivalrous. Before checking out, Yoshi will have to cope with this enormously icky enemy. The slow-moving Salvo skedaddles. Again, weird word, skedaddle. Skedaddle. Depart quickly. Run away. Skedaddles faster and faster the more he's hit with dino eggs, but he also throws a lot of lemon drops. Besides tasting great, these make excellent eggs. Prince Froggy. His Royal Highness doesn't like to work up a sweat in the jungle heat, so Kamek will have to shrink Yoshi and Mario down to a bite-sized morsel. Once inside Froggy's stomach, Yoshi will have to fight his outweigh by using the primary food of Froggy diet, Psy Guys. Naval Piranha. That's not an alligator living in the sewers of the castle at the end of World 3, but a dino-eating plant. I think there was like a myth in the United States that there are alligators living in the US sewers, at least in some areas, maybe in like Florida. Judging by how slow he moves, though, Naval Piranha hasn't encountered many snacks as shrewd as Yoshi. Have you heard of the Achilles heel? Well, Yoshi knows that his first foliage has an Achilles Adam's apple. Peekaboo. Now here's a real biter. Peekaboo closes his eyes and almost fades into stonework when Yoshi looks at him. Turn around though and he'll swoop down for a dino dinner. Say boo to Peekaboo by making the fanciest collection of bank shots this side of the world. Billiards championship. Okay. Roger, the potted ghost. Spirit like Peekaboo and Roger haunt the forts and castles clanging into rugged mountainsides in World 2. Roger looks mean and has frightfully bad breath. How do you know? Well, I guess he makes those blue like drippings from his mouth. But he isn't exactly fast on his feet. In fact, he has no feet. He has to rely on 2 shy guys to push him around. Since he didn't let them go out for trick or treat last year, the team spirit is low. Okay. I think they took some liberties with these descriptions. I guess the Japanese version, maybe the Japanese version has some humor as well, but it's probably not translatable. Oh, it's so cute. Marching mild. When her wild smile and easygoing gait, Mild is one of the mellowest adversaries Yoshi will encounter on his journey. Hit her with an egg and she'll barely strike. You'll have to split her personality by pounding her head. She has good reason to be laid back, for few intruders ever make into the inner sanctum of her castle. Hookbill the Koopa. Mists swirl around the castle high up in the mountains at the end of World 4. Yoshi finally makes it to the parapet. The mist's parapet? A protective wall along the edge of a roof, bridge or balcony. Protective wall, barricade, barrier. Okay. I'm learning so much English just by reading these guides. The mist's clear and eek! It's a giant Koopa Troopa. Fortunately, Yoshi keeps his wits about him and remembers that Koopa Troopas are most vulnerable when on their back. Watch out, though. Hookbill has the unique ability to pull in his head and shell the opposition. Sluggy the Unshaven. Looks quite cute. With that, like it's like plushy, like a wool made heart. Halfway through the snowbound landscape of World 5, Yoshi encounters the first boss in video game history, whose heart has a 5 o'clock shadow. Sluggy oozes with the desire to leave Yoshi out in the cold, but the dynamic dino can stay warm if he keeps his cool. Sluggy, by pitching eggs at the whiskered one's heart, but be warned, Karek's magic potion quickly fixes dents in Sluggy's slimy skin. This is one of the weirdest boss when it's like gelatin mass that transforms. It's excellent use of FX2 chip. Raphael the Raven. High in the night sky, a small brown globe spins. Guarding it like a hawk is ravenous Raphael, a rodent raptor. So I have to check these. Ravenous. Raven. Extremely hungry. Ravenous. Voracious. Insatiable. Interesting. Plus rotund. Rotund. Large and plump. Plump, chubby. Rodent raptor armed with flame-throwing feet. A this altitude, it's easy to get lighthearted and feel your head spinning, especially with Raffle chasing you all over the planet. If you succeed in beating this bird, though, you just might put a new constellation over Yoshi's Island. Tap taps the red nose. Miffled. Miffed, not miffled. Miff. What is that? Miffed. Annoyed. Peeved. Huh. Miffed that someone else with a red nose got to be a hero on that foggy Christmas Eve. What? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Tap-Tap retreated to a fort carpeted with wall-to-wall lava. Don't be deceived by his grin. This prickly predator would love to give Yoshi a hot bath. Kim Bowser. Yoshi burst in on napping baby Bowser, and boy does a major tantrum ensue. Kamek has a bit more potion up his sleeve though, and he uses it to change the whiny little baby into huge horrifying Bowser. Instead of expressing himself by scribbling on the walls, Bowser now blows huge fireballs. As if that's not enough, Bowser's earth-shaking footsteps threaten to send the castle crashing down around Yoshi and Mario. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a long read, so I'm gonna stop here and continue some other time. So thanks for watching.